This is Top Shop Podcast.
Shop Podcast.
Top Shop Podcast.
Podcast for automotive service business owners by Paul Donahue.
Hey, Top Shop Podcast listeners, got Dan Corcoran. So 13 years auto repair shop owner. So writers, Automotive, and they are in beautiful Wildwood, New Jersey. So they are close to mile zero on what route is that?
The Garden State Parkway.
Garden State Parkway. Mile zero on the Garden State Parkway. We got mile zero in Key West, and there's another mile zero that a lot of people don't know about, and that's the Garden State Parkway that ends in Cape May, the little bed and breakfast town right below Wildwood. So a really nice area that you live in. So nice town. A lot of tourists come there. I would imagine you probably get a lot of tourist business.
Oh yeah.
In the summertime. Yeah, probably slammed with tourist business. So Dan, so tell us, you are second generation. Your grandparents owned the shop.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
So tell us how you became, a shop owner. So I would imagine you started working the shop early, but tell us your story. How'd you get here?
Yes. So basically, we've been on the island here for a long time, since 1960. This was my grandparents' business, and growing up, I'd always been real into working on cars and wanted to work in the shop. My grandparents were older, and they were trying to dwindle the business down and wanted me to kind of go work somewhere else with new equipment, new technology, and this and that. And I really had a dream and a vision here, and kind of talked them into letting me buy it, which they did. I started out here running the rollback actually to help my grandpa. He kind of got sick with cancer and wound up passing away. And my grandmom was here, more of a labor of love type of thing. She was a bell telephone operator, but she was here because he was here, and wound up buying the business, which was cool because it gave her the out, which I was happy to help my grandmom with.
Right.
And, we've just been here, been pretty successful, thankfully. I'm super grateful. I just try to be fair and honest, and seem to have more work than I can shake a stick at some days, which is good.
Yeah.
So, and I've over the years acquired a really, really good crew and have great culture, which I feel like I've worked really hard to try and create here at the shop, which has taken some time to do, and real thankful how it's all panned out. I have 3 techs and a service writer now. We just redid our lobby, and actually getting ready to do an addition. This will be my second addition here at the facility.
Mm-hmm.
Just to try to keep growing and help serve the town, and make the shop better.
Right, yeah. Let's talk about culture, because that is a big part of, back in my dad's day, what's culture, but today it's really important. And with the tech shortage being what it is, I mean, we really want to retain our employees and our techs. What advice, would you give to other repair shop owners because a culture, I've talked with shop owners where they work really hard to develop it. And then they looked away just a little bit, or they had a poisonous employee that they didn't realize it for a while, it can go the other way pretty quick. So any tips on how you develop your shop's culture and how you maintain it?
Well, to be honest, I guess the short and sweet answer is treat people the way that you want to be treated. That swings a lot of weight.
Yep.
I'm real eager to learn and enjoy training. I think there's a lot of value in that, not only for myself, but for my employees. I try to, help grow them as a tech, but also as a person. We have one-on-ones and talk about, what are your dreams? What are your goals for the year? And try to give them some tidbits to achieve that. But like also when you help somebody personally, they also seem to do good and perform well professionally. I buy lunch 3 days a week, and every morning come in, ask everybody how you doing, how was your day, and just try to be personable. Like tell them all the time I'm human, and don't be scared to talk to me.
Right.
When I was younger, I had a kind of a bad boss, I guess you could say, and I was working.
What kind of boss?
A bad boss.
Okay, was not a good boss. Okay, got it.
And I was working in a boat yard, kind of the young low guy on the totem pole, blocking up boats and
Right.
painting bottoms and stuff, and was just eager to learn. And I remember piquing curiosity, one of the senior techs, and the guy was like, "Hey man, don't don't talk to me. I don't want to get in trouble. The boss will yell at me if he sees me talking to you, da da da. And I was like, man, that's what kind of environment is this? And eventually wound up leaving. But looking back on it, I feel like that was one of the better jobs I had because it helped me, be as an owner. And I thought to myself, I never want to work for somebody like that. And um, didn't realize the light it would bring to my eyes years later as an owner.
Mhm.
Um, but you just try to do right by them, and try to really be in tune with my team and everybody here. And it's nice because it doesn't make for a long, stressful work day.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the things that you do that maintains a strong culture is you don't talk about it. You show them. You close down the shop and go to Vision for training. So
Yep.
that's important. Do you do any kind of like weekly lunches or like some or breakfast? Some shops do that, or do you do any of
Uh,
that kind of stuff? Or
yes, sometimes we actually, especially you being in Cape May, I'm sure you've heard of the Lobster House.
oh
Sometimes
yeah,
we'll meet there in the morning. There's a nice little breakfast bar we'll have breakfast at. And like the end of the summer, we do kind of an end of summer shebang where we get together, do something, a group activity, whether it's on the water on a boat or try to go to Top Golf or do something fun. And nice Christmas party during the winter, get together, and everybody brings their family, spouses, and have dinner. And so we do some, out of the shop activities, which is nice. And, it's nice to get everybody's family and spouses together and chit chat because you work all day with them, but you don't know the other half of their life. And it's nice to have a nice like team oriented events like that. I
right.
think that's
Yeah,
a lot of weight.
yeah. A lot of the better shops, they do exactly what you do. They do outside stuff. So, so was it kind of a seamless transition, or when you took over the shop, or was there a lot of things that you needed to change and or
Yeah, it was a pretty old ran down building, and I put
right,
a lot of love into it over the years. Just with fixing the facility up, we did an addition. I invested in some hunter equipment, which I'm super glad I did.
right,
Uh,
okay,
and we just finished renovating our lobby now. But yeah, I mean, just tooling equipment over the years, naturally just staying up with the times, getting nice balance. Our entire equipment was a big, even the hunter alignment rack, like that was a big game changer for me. Um, having nice equipment, being able to do nice wheels and tires certainly changes your style of work. You know, um,
sure.
and training, I feel like, as you mentioned, has been a big part of that. In this industry, if you don't go to training, I think you'll easily work your way out of a career.
Yeah, yeah, that's one of my questions. What role do you believe that training plays, in the ongoing and ongoing education play in a shop's ongoing success today?
Mhm. Oh yeah, I mean, naturally, obviously, there's an expense to it, but the way I look at it is training really doesn't cost; it pays. Um, you
Right.
know,
That means it's an investment.
Yes, absolutely. And the employees see you also investing in them, which I think is very important. Instead of just having somebody clock out and go home, it's like, hey, let's stay on the clock and let's fly and learn here together. And the other nice thing is when you go to training, as far as we go and as big as the events are, you always see the same faces, the same people that are willing to learn and better themselves. And when you're having breakfast, lunch, and dinner and in a classroom with people that want to improve themselves, it's easy to learn, just because you're surrounded by that all day and a couple days in a row.
Right. Yep. Um, where do you think the industry is going in the next, say, 10 years or so? So we've got the EV thing, we got the hybrid.
Um, I personally, I think the EV thing is growing, but I think it's jumped the curve a little bit. I I personally don't see the combustion engine going anywhere anytime soon. They've become so efficient, and everything's GDI and turbo and much more efficient and making great power and needing less maintenance. And I haven't personally seen one yet, but I know they're going to be coming out with the gasoline particulate filters on the gas cars, and that's going to make tailpipe emissions even cleaner. And I mean, they're so efficient, and they go so far. I personally don't see the big push for EV, but that's just my opinion. I think I would have extreme range anxiety driving an electric car, but
Right.
that's just me. That's why I
Yep.
make chocolate vanilla, you know.
Yeah. No, no, a lot of people have said the same thing as you. EVs are also, they're good pretty much for the city dweller, but if
Mhm.
you live outside of town or anywhere, cold weather areas, hot weather areas, so, and then EVs. I don't know if the general public knows it or not. I would think that they would know, but the EVs are an environmental absolute disaster. So
Mhm.
um,
Yeah. Yeah, and
they
that's one thing that's not even talked about is the whole uh production of electric thing. That's
right. Well,
honestly,
I
I
don't know
would.
where, I'm sorry, I don't know where I saw it, and I need to find the source of that information. But what they did was they figured out that when they put an EV on the lot to sell it, it's already expended more carbon than an internal combustion engine over the life of the car. This is
Okay.
not okay because of all the mining and the shipping and yeah.
Mhm.
So what were you going to say?
Yeah, that's one thing I was just going to talk about is I'm honestly not real well versed on the electricity production side of things, but I know it certainly has a huge carbon footprint impact on just pollutants.
Right, yeah. And that's not dealing with the battery after 7 to 8 years.
Mhm.
Yeah, what are we going to do to that?
Yes.
So, are there, what do you think the biggest changes have been in the last 5 or 10 years that are affecting auto repair shops today?
Honestly, I think one thing I guess kind of random is just the not to make this a technical talk, but just with the GDI engines and I feel like a lot of people aren't educated on the additional maintenance they require with like induction services or decarboning procedures. And making sure they don't consume oil just because it is granted it's been on the road for 10 years or so, but it is a newer style fuel injection system and we're starting to see those engines with 100, 200,000 miles and a lot of people I think I know a lot of cars do consume oil, but oil consumption doesn't have to be a normal natural thing. I'm real big on BG products, and I think they're great. We've seen great results personally with our customers, and the importance of doing an induction service or a fuel induction service to keep rings carbon free. And not everybody's running top tier fuel, and that plays a big factor. And there are a lot of really good products, and I think it's important to educate the customer when they're in for maintenance. If we don't tell them about, this additional or newer style maintenance that this newer style fuel injection system requires, I almost feel like we're doing them a disservice because most people care about their car and they want to take care of it. And I think it's very important on educating yourself, your techs, your shop, and your customers on the importance of it because I feel like that's one thing that's not really talked and mentioned or heavily pushed is the maintenance side of GDI.
Okay, yeah. So, speaking of techs, it's one of the biggest topics. I just got back from the NWAC at Northwest Auto Care Alliance winter retreat in Leavenworth, Washington. And once again, this is just everywhere I go. It is probably one of the most talked about topics is the tech shortage. If do you have any advice on how you find, hire, and retain good technicians?
Uh, well, I thankfully have had a good crew for a handful of years. One thing a good business mentor of mine taught me sometimes is he might not be Mr. Right, but he's Mr. Right now.
Right.
And, just hire and, kind of pick your weeds and try to grow the flowers, so to say. Um, and I don't have anybody on my bench, and I don't think I'm gonna need that. Knock on wood, but it would be a wise idea to build your bench and have some people on the docket. God forbid you do need another person.
Yeah. Speaking of mentorship, what role has mentorship played in the success of you running your shop?
Huge, I would say. There's
Okay.
a local business guy who's been a big mentor to me. Has certainly helped me with my success. But a couple of years ago, I joined ATI, and
Okay.
he did as well. And for a long time, told me, "You're ready, do it, do it, do it." And I was scared to pull the trigger, and honestly, glad I have. I feel like for years I worked and concentrated really hard on trying to grow as a technician. And, now I find myself putting more effort in trying to grow as an owner. And I certainly think that has overall helped whole overall business in general, certainly.
Right. Yeah.
I, and that coincides with training and it not costing it paying. I certainly think that that has paid for itself and helped me with my shop, my life. I feel like it's helped make me a better dad. Learned a lot.
So speaking of dad, you got a family?
Yep, I have a wife and two kids, a boy and a girl, and 5 and 7.
Oh, 5 and 7, so they're
Yep,
young. Okay.
yep.
Um, Work-life balance. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. My
Because
wife would probably have a lot to say about
yeah,
that.
probably. There's been more than one wife that's reined their husband in on the work-life balance thing. Yeah, sometimes for the external pressure, but always to the family's benefit. But it is an issue. Do you have any tips that you could give on how you maintain a good work-life balance with between your business and your family?
Yeah, when I was younger and single, I certainly did work like a dog. I feel like any new business owner, is part of the grind. My wife certainly helps with that, but we used to work a 6 day work week. Some days I work 7. Some days I felt like I worked 8, but now, with the staff and the crew and part of the culture thing, I guess coincides with it. We're 8:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. We're closed Saturday and Sunday, and we do that
Okay.
all year round. And having weekends off is nice, and really trying to turn it off at 5 o'clock certainly helps. And also just getting that break and refresher. It's you feel better coming in Monday. We typically close between Christmas and New Year's as well, and kind of pay the shop to enjoy time with their family. And between Christmas and New Year's, it is bumming, losing out on some income, but the other end of the stick, it's good to recharge your batteries. And we're in such a seasonal community. Between Christmas and New Year's, everybody's uh, either with family or spent as well. So it's
Yeah.
a quiet time for the shop. You
Yeah.
know, it's a good time to let everybody enjoy their family and what matters most and charge their batteries.
hmm So, yeah, a lot of shop owners have told me that it's the line in the sand thing, 5:36, whatever.
Mm.
And then they go home to the family and whatever's in the shop, it'll be there tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah. So finances, let's talk about finances real quick. No shop's going to make it the amount of time that you've made it in any market anywhere without a solid, financial strategy or plan. What is yours? What would you recommend to a shop owner
Um,
or that they
well,
make it financially? Because it's one of the major reasons that shops close.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's a good that's a loaded question there. Um, I mean, one thing, is as far as I guess money in the door, don't necessarily devalue yourself. We are very fair, honest, and transparent with people, but we have that time and testing talk and try to really get paid for our time. I feel like going to training makes me realize how much or just makes you realize your worth. And giving away time, but also it's obviously important to watch how it goes out. With your labor rate, figuring out your employees and their loaded cost. We do like a IRA match contribution, and just really making sure that your hourly rate is where it should be to support your techs. ATI has helped me with a kind of a labor rate analysis, but watching your productivity, I think invoice program could help a lot with that. We use TechMetric. I really like it. We do DVIs. And taking the time to be thorough and educate the customer on maintenance their vehicle needs. Uh, and you're also not that you want to sell wild flushes or things they don't need, but it is important to say, hey, brake fluid's dark and it should be, maintained. And if you're just doing a lot of oil changes and not selling a lot of maintenance, you get, you're a high car count with a kind of a low RO. And, next thing you know, you're working really hard, you're spinning your wheels and you're barely, making any money, or you could slow production down a little bit, be more thorough and have a lower car count with a higher RO. easier. There's less cars on the lot, there's less risk, you're moving less things around, but you're more thorough, and you also over time I feel like wind up attracting a clientele that um, wants to service their vehicle and take good care of it and be in it for the long haul instead of just trying to compete with Jiffy Lube and
Right.
oil changes. Because one thing to keep in mind, and probably most people listening to this are, you're a repair shop. You're not a service center. You're not a tire center. And, don't try to compete with those kind of chains. We're a
Right.
small mom and pop repair shop that's honest and known for doing good work. And, our oil change is $100, but there's a lot of value with that. You get a nice DVI, a quality filter, good oil. It's, if it's a GM, it's Texas approved. And, um, it's you wind up also attracting the better clientele that's just not looking for a quick spill and fill oil change and turn a blind eye to the bald tire. And it's nice to do work like that and have customers like that and also work on cars like that. I
Hmm.
feel like that it makes the job and everything more seamless and less stressful.
Yeah. So yeah. I went
Okay,
to
I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no, that's good. I did want to go back to Tex again. Are you involved your local high school there or anything? Do you go do they have
Yes, I,
anything going
I
on?
Yes, I actually am. I wasn't going to mention this, but I do. I actually do nighttime teaching at our local Cape May Tech.
Oh, you
Uh,
do? Okay.
I teach youth and adult program, and then also do nighttime teaching at ACIT, which is the Atlantic County Institute of Technology up in Egg Harbor. Um, I'm really passionate about the industry and just learning, and I really enjoy teaching young people or green people and try to prep them for what the automotive field could be. It can be a good career, and you just got to find the right place to go into work. Um, I tell a lot of my students, if you're looking to get into the field or do something, it's important to read the shop's Google reviews because they speak for themselves. And a lot of times if you go to work for somewhere that has good reviews and customers are happy, most likely the staff and the people there are happy.
Hmm.
Um, but with Gateway Tech, they actually just got a subscription to TechMetric and started doing DVIs, or they're learning it, which is great. I think that's something that should really be taught to newer technicians in this industry because that's where it's going. You're getting away from pen and paper, and like most good shops are doing digital reports and stuff, and it's important to learn them on that. That's the new wave and the new era is kind of where it's going.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. So the entire internet is moving. SEO is still important, but it's moving towards AEO, which is answer engine optimization. So 10% of all searches last year at Google had an AI answer at the top. So, and the shops that dominate that search, because guess what? It's going to grow.
Yeah, oh yeah, it surely is.
Yeah. So that's I'm working on my third book, um, auto repair shop marketing in the age of AI, how to future-proof your shop. And I've had some say, well, how do you future-proof? Well, what's the current trend? Large language models, right? With AEO. So is it going to increase? Will it be 15 or 20% by the end of this year? Yeah, probably. So, and then the year after that, yeah. So anyway, um, any valuable tips that you've got on retaining customers? So it sounds, I already looked at your reviews. You got great reviews, more than any other shop in the area. So obviously you're doing the basic groundwork correctly. So but any specific tips on making sure that you get those good reviews, and that first time customer that does come in likes your shop and is going to be bringing their car back to you instead of a competitor?
Mhm. Well, I feel like it does kind of take you a while to train your customers, so to say, the returning ones, but just being very, very transparent. We always let everybody know, like, have that time and testing talk. We always like to let them know exactly what it is with sales tax. If we think we need more time, we'll call and ask for more time. We let them know when they're dropping off for an oil change that we're gonna let them know we're going to perform an inspection on their car and make sure it's okay, and to be on the lookout for a link and take their time and go through it and then call us if they have questions. um just really transparency is what it all boils down to. Also having a good educated service advisor plays a lot of weight. I feel like people that have issues or bad reviews, it boils down to lack of communication or they weren't transparent. And it's important to have policies. We really don't install customer supplied parts or customer supplied tires. We supply our own stuff. We put our own warranty on it, and that's just
Right.
how we do it. If you don't want to do it that way, no hard feelings. There are a handful of other shops in the area that you can surely go to and they'd be happy to do it. I just think for us it works well. We can guarantee it. There's no uh, issues involved, or if we have somebody's part and we put it on and it doesn't start or whatever, it's say we put a bad starter in a car that a customer supplied, it's not good for us. It's not good for them. You're not making any money on the part, so then you're doing the same work with less margin and
Right. Yep.
but you also don't really want to. I personally don't think it's a good idea to kind of attract that clientele in a way, you know.
Yeah, I don't know of any shops that will put customer parts on the car. Not
Yeah,
anymore. It used to, but not anymore. Uh,
yeah,
yeah. So so your best advice for customer relations is, from what I'm hearing, good communication,
yep,
right? Right.
absolutely, yep.
Yeah. What about customer complaints? Every now and then we're going to get one. Nothing you can do about it. Is what do you do with when you get a customer complaint? What's your strategy?
Well, we really try to put that fire out before it happens.
There you
Um,
go. Yep.
you know, I mean, we, try to make them happy. Worst case scenario, if somebody's really dissatisfied, we'll give them their money back. And I mean, it doesn't happen often, but it's, they call it being in business. They don't call it making money, and it's all part of it. Every now and then, you gotta, you know, just eat a bad egg, and also, I mean, our Google reviews are real, and there's a bad one in there too, but a bad Google review to me is like the worst possible thing you could do to me, and I try to keep that to a minimum, and if somebody really feels dissatisfied or if they're just hard to deal with, either we won't work on the car and we'll either kind of sort of fire the customer in a way, or if they're upset and we can't make them happy or do whatever, we'll give them their money back. And then it's like, what really can you say? You were dissatisfied. I made you whole. Go somewhere else and hopefully have a better experience.
Hmm.
But it thankfully doesn't happen. Just we try to really stick pretty hardcore to our policy. And the other thing is, and not many mechanics talk themselves out of work, but if we have a vehicle where we really don't think it's worth the investment, I tell customers straight up, I want to help you. I want to fix your car, but most importantly, I want to make sure your money is well spent here. I really don't think it's a good idea for you to fix this car. And if you want to fix it, go somewhere else and fix it. No hard feelings. Because sometimes if somebody puts $2,000 into a car and they could have it fixed, but it's still a kind of a POS car that wasn't worth putting 2 grand into,
Right.
just for example, and
Yep.
uh, you know,
If
just
they spend the 2 grand to fix it and they go down the road and something else breaks, right? Yeah.
yeah, we really were, honestly, really looking out for the customer. Like I care that much, or I would rather not do the job.
Right. Yeah. So, what do you like most about running an auto repair shop?
Uh, I would honestly say, my customers, I enjoy them. I enjoy talking to them, and
I
just,
figured that. I
you
figured
know,
that's what you're going to say. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
there's
Yeah.
people that have been coming here longer than I've been here,
Right.
and
Right.
it's
Yeah.
nice to keep those strong relationships. And we have a shop dog, a white golden retriever, and everybody's always excited to see him. And it's
Right. Okay.
I really enjoy that. I enjoy helping people.
Yep. So, if a new auto repair shop owner was to come to you and they would say, "Hey, Dan, I need some advice. Out of all the things that you would tell them to do, what would be one of the first things you would tell them to do?"
Um, uh, probably honestly would probably talk them into using TechMetric.
Okay.
Just because I think that I really like it. I mean, there's a lot of really great software companies out there. I just like them. I like their DVIs. I like the texting. I think it's a really great program, and they've grown like wildfire.
Yeah, yeah, they have. Yeah.
I think that really helps the shop communication and the communication with the customer. Um, especially if they wind up building a nice DVI and all, it's a win-win for everybody.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, listen, I really appreciate you taking time out of your morning to meet with me. So I'll see you again at Vision. I'll be on the trade show floor, so be sure to stop by and say hello. And anybody else listening, if you're not aware, the Vision is the #1 largest show in North America that specifically is for auto repair shops and auto repair shop technicians, managers, owners. It is the largest in the nation. Each year, they draw a bigger and bigger crowd, and there's a reason for that. So
Mhm.
it's visionkc.org, I think. So just let everyone know. All right.
Thank you very much.
For additional automotive resources and exclusive content, follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all our episodes. Thanks again for joining us in the driver's seat, and we'll see you next time for another thrilling episode of Top Shop.